Hi, so if you're new to Piyo or you're new to Soul Fusion, I wanted to give you some of these videos that will help you with terminology. And today we're going to talk about just two of our moves that happen, one in Piyo and the other happens in both Soul Fusion and Piyo. So let's start with the first one, which is a crouching down dog. Okay, so sometimes because I'm teaching and I'm facing the front, you might not know what a crouching down dog is, but let me show you from a side angle so that you know what that is. So in a crouching down dog, we'll most likely go from a chaturanga position or an inhale, uphail, up, inhale, exhale. So we'll inhale up and we're forward fold. We'll probably half lift and come down into a plank, right? So in plank, we'll probably move somehow into down dog. So here's your down dog. And in down dog, you want your ears in between your shoulders or in between your arm and your neck's relaxed. So you can shake it, yes, no. You want your shoulders activated. You want your triceps pointing towards your toes. You want your fingers into the ground. And you want to be pressing those heels into the ground. And you really want your tailbone pointing up to the sky. Now, if this is, you don't have the flexibility for a down dog yet, you can simply bend your knees to get that straight spine, and that might help you release those hamstrings a little bit more. But from down dog, we do what's a crouching down dog, and oftentimes this is a transition or it's part of our warm up. So a crouching dog is simply bending your knees and then extending to warm up all of those muscles in that area. So you bend your knees, and you extend. Press the heels into the ground. Bend the knees and extend. And if it's in the warm-up, you'll see it moving slow like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes in Soul Fusion, we move a little bit quicker. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a little bit quicker. And that's it. That's what we call a crouching down dog. And usually we'll move through that. We'll step back into plank, step forward, and continue on. So that's a crouching down dog. A second thing is our Piyo flip. So a Piyo flip is also known as a rock star in yoga. In Piyo, we move through it a little bit differently in the sense that we don't hold the pose, but that doesn't mean that you can't hold the pose if you want to. That's what I love about teaching Piyo, is that you can move through the movement the way that it feels good to you. There's always a modification that you can use or an option to take. I want you to always listen to your body and do what feels best. So in a Piyo flip, we will most always be in some sort of plank or a lunge. So we'll either be here in a plank or we'll be here in a runner's lunge. So you can take that for what it's worth. If you're in this runner's lunge, we'll move from this because it's a little bit more complicated. But if you're, say, let's in this runner's lunge, you'll always take that foot back first into a plank, and then we'll do our Piyo flip. So we'll start with this side. The sense of my angle is the way that it is. So the left leg's forward, you bring it back into a plank, and what you'll do, you want to make sure you're in a good plank. Triceps are facing your toes. You're not up here. You're not sinking down here. You're in a really good plank. Your left foot will come up, your knee is bent, and you just rotate over to the side. Now you have your toe behind you, and what I see a lot is that people either are too close and so they're off balance, and you don't want to be too far either. But if you are someone that struggles with balance, the further out you are, the more balance you have, I find. But you really want to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, so your wrist is underneath your shoulder and you're in a straight alignment. So you can hold this side plank, or eventually you get to a point where you're arching your back and reaching up. Now in Piyo, you can either hold it here in side plank or in a rock star, or you can move through it with us, which is usually down, sweep up, down, or sweep up this way. Either one is totally perfectly acceptable depending on what feels good to you. So then we'll usually, and always in my class, we'll always reach, we'll come back down, and we'll flip back over to whatever position we need to be in, whether it's plank or down dog. But I almost always flip back over into a plank and then settle in the next pose. So if you were doing the other side, you'd lift that right foot up. Hello. And then you'd reach. Okay, so that's the Piyo flip. Now, don't be scared by the Piyo. Oh, let me show you the option for a Piyo flip. Yes, and some of my class goers love this option. So if you are here in this runner's lunge with your left foot forward, you bring it back to a plank. And some of us will flip, right? And I even take this option sometimes, where you drop the right knee and you lift that left leg and you hold a side plank here. So a lot of people that will take this option, it will be because they have some wrist flexibility, or they have a wrist injury, or that pressure on that arm in a Piyo flip is too much, and this feels better to them. It also saves your low back a little bit if you have some low back issues. I am breathing hard through this. This is not easy to explain. So your left leg is up, and you're holding this side plank. And this is also can be a beginner's pose. If you're new to Piyo or you're new to the Piyo flip, this is a great way to build that strength in both obliques so that you can get to the point where you're in that side plank, that rock star, or moving through the Piyo flip. So there you go. That's it. Thank you so much. Have a great day.